It's started, folks. The U.S. diesel shortage, about which many of you and we at MRC-TV have been warning, is here. And it's a stark, in-our-faces wake-up call for everyone to realize that the U.S. energy market is not a market at all. It's a command and control feudal system. And we are the serfs, answering to the climate cult ESG zealots who've been setting up their controls and so-called regulations for over a century. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. Recall, if you've seen them, those stark comparisons of communist North Korea and much freer South Korea at night. Images showing the brilliantly lit South and the abyssal black of the North that testify to how collectivism can take formerly united, culturally similar populations, people now merely split by arbitrary political borders, and then cast them into the dark world of poverty and privation. Many of us surely showed the shot or shots to friends, trying to demonstrate how political collectivism retards economic growth, threatens living standards, and makes the fundamental economics of supply and demand absolutely impossible to work. Although it reflected cold homes in the winter, hot homes in the summer, medical centers lacking sufficient power, and sundry other tragic obstacles for the North Korean residents, we still might have seen the power problem and the attendant troubles as distant. Well, now, after months of warnings, the diesel shortage has arrived. The Last Refuge connects readers to two reports from the Southeastern U.S., North Carolina and Kentucky, where stations are beginning to run out.
The official supply alert issued by Mansfield Energy states poor pipeline shipping economics and historically low diesel inventories are combining to cause shortages in various markets throughout the Southeast. In turn, Commissioner Black says that diesel fuel prices are on the rise.
You see tighter supplies, you're always going to see higher prices. And when those higher prices for basic inputs, fuel, again, labor, those kind of things which we've seen escalate over time, the natural result of economics is that's going to be reflected in the retail price that you and I pay.
And the lack of fuel at some pumps leads to increased delivery time and increased fuel usage to find fuel. Quote, low supplies make it difficult to find the fuel quickly, which means trucks have to visit several terminals and it strains local trucking capacity, the company said. The low supplies also mean an increase in prices for diesel. On Friday, diesel prices opened up 10 cents for the week, Mansfield said. And footage posted at TikTok last week from one trucker offers visual evidence of the shortage at the pumps. The shortage is arriving. It will blast apart what's left of the already government-strangled supply chains for virtually everything. And not only is this fuel shortage not necessary, it wouldn't be occurring in a truly free market. Thanks to more than a century of government claims of control over everything from the land and seas where many drillers might want to drill, to recent blockages of domestic fuel exploration, domestic oil and gas transfer capacity, and blocks of increased oil refining capacity, and even recent so-called sanctions against Russian energy imports, which are really sanctions against us. The U.S. central government has laid each brick in our prison, such that this is just one facet of a dangerous shortage in many kinds of food, oil, gasoline, kerosene, natural gas, and coal here in the States. Oh, and on that last factor, coal. Despite coal being plentiful in many states and also being a proven provider of energy that could be revivified if the feds would simply leave consumers and potential providers alone, President It's Not My Fault Biden Friday attacked coal and attacked your temerity for even thinking that it might be a good idea to let people be free to mine for it or buy it and sell it for fuel. Noting in his inimitable way,
folks, it's also now cheaper to generate electricity from wind and solar than it is from coal and oil. Literally cheaper, not a joke. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America and having wind and solar.
That comes on the heels of his former boss, Barack Obama, using the Constitution-insulting Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, to regulate out of existence large swaths of the mining and coal-burning electricity provision industry. MRC-TV supporters will recall the detailed documentary that MRC-TV director Eric Shiner released 6 years ago, covering the political attacks on coal. As Brittany Hughes, MRC-TV editor and executive producer of that film, Collateral Damage: Forgotten Casualties in the Left's War on Coal, noted at the time, quote, "This is not just an attack on coal. Coal is the first one. It's the first one. But this is an attack on fossil fuels and this country. At least with the technology we have right now, we can't run off of windmills and solar panels unless everybody just wants to cover the entire country in them. And even then, I'm not sure that it would be effective enough." Spot on. And if the free market, i.e. liberty, existed in the United States, not only would people be able to choose for themselves, avoiding the anger and bickering and time wasting of political wrangling and bureaucratic maze running, they'd be able to send potential providers of coal and natural gas, gasoline and diesel the price signals necessary to properly allocate resources, those in part being labor, money, time, and physical resources, to allocate them to the increased provision of the fuels if needed. These signals from the Southeast right now are just the start. Uhler's report notes that supply chain problems also play a part in the private oil suppliers' ability to get the product to the limited refineries that will still be able to make diesel. These private landowners who could provide some energy-rich resources like oil and natural gas and coal, well, they need pipes and cables and all manner of physical tools to keep their private operations on their property running. And thanks to Joe Biden, the supplies of those are short. Just like some of us might describe our patience with command and control economics, which has been shown to have failed everywhere it has been tried. And of course, it has caused incredible suffering for everyone who has experienced it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Really appreciate you joining us, especially if you're joining us at Rumble, where they don't censor us. I just heard from YouTube on the back end about some videos that I had supplied to someone without even publishing them, and I had strikes put against my own channel. It was really nice of them to do that. They're all over a year old. That was nice of them. Way to go, YouTube. Of course, we're still on YouTube. If you want to go over there and like and subscribe, that's cool. And if you get the chance, head over to the MRC TV Facebook page, because that is always hopping and is still going. We'll see you on TikTok, Instagram, Parler, yay Parler, and of course on Twitter as well. On Twitter, I am at Gard Goldsmith, and on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please spread the word, share the videos if you can, and visit mrctv.org.